Hey everyone, welcome back to the Coach's Corner here on the NAIA Women's Volleyball page, powered by Win One. I'm your host, Daniel Mesquita. Today we're joined by head coach Ian Harris of the St. Mary of the Woods College Pomeroys. Coach Harris serves as the men's head coach. On the women's side, he also has a key role as he is the associate head coach and recruiting coordinator. Coach, thanks for taking the time to join me today. How are things out there in Indiana?
Things are good. We just got back from the in-laws for Christmas up in Wisconsin, so much warmer here in Indiana than in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm over here in South Dakota, and I'm starting to see the dead grass. So the sun's coming up, so that's a good thing.
Sure.
But coach, we want to start with the women's side first, and then we'll talk and dive through the men's. But you guys had another strong season and another 30-win season out in the River States. You guys made a run to the conference tournament to the semis. From your perspective, how would you evaluate that season, and what were you most proud of that group?
It's funny. Coach Ashley and I were just talking about how the expectations have changed here so much. You have your third straight 30-win season. Record number of all conference players, all region players, our first All-American, and we leave the season disappointed. So it's great that the expectations are like that. You go 30-6 and you leave disappointed. But no, it was a great year. A lot for us to learn on, a lot for us to build on. I think what we were able to show on the women's side is that SMWC has clearly moved up into that top two, top three in the conference,
Yep.
and is a contender right there for top 25 in the country. Again, we've got our two best hitters coming back, and unfortunately, we've got to replace the best setter in women's history, program history. But we've got some great girls here. They're super hungry. We've got a few girls transferring in here in the spring, so the everything we're focused on going into the next year for the women's side is just unfinished business. We want to get our fourth straight 30-win season. This class of girls that we have that have been here for the past 3 years, they're the winningest class in program history. And we got to make sure that they go out with another 31, 32, 33 wins next year and, make the national tournament, do all those things. But we got a great group here, and Coach Ashley and those girls have done awesome.
That's great. That's a lot of fuel to the fire, and you guys are going to keep stacking chips over there in Indiana, no doubt. But let's shift over to the men's as you're the head coach there. Last season, you guys took a big step forward. You guys finished 26-10 in your first season in the River States. You guys also had the winningest season in program history, and then on top of that, just to keep adding to it, you guys had your first ever postseason win. You guys knocked off Rio Grande. When you reflect on that last season, what stands out to the most to you about that team and what they accomplished?
I'm proud of so that we're going into year four here,
Yep.
so fourth year in program history. So for us going from whatever it was, 3-4 wins in year one to the
Yep.
most improved team in the nation in year two with whatever 16, 17 wins, then 26 last year. We're going in that right direction. And what we've been preaching for these last 3 years is just trust the process. We know what we're doing, we know how it works. You guys just got to believe and buy in. And so it started last year in January. Actually, we had a scrimmage out in St. Louis, and we were very competitive with Missouri Baptist, Missouri Valley, and that was like, okay, like
Yeah.
I know it's a scrimmage, but like
Still.
the fact that we are competitive with top five, top 10 teams in the country was a good sign. So that really gave our guys a lot of hope. And as we went through the season, obviously year one for the River States, super tough conference, playing the defending national champions in Georgetown and Campbellsville and Cumberland, all these great teams.
Yep.
But it was fun to see the guys for the first time get to walk into the gym and fully believe that they're the better team and to fully understand where they had come from and where they are. I give a ton of credit for the freshmen last year. Like they really bought in, and those upperclassmen, they were really committed. And it was really just all the hard work that those guys had put in over the last few years was awesome to see. And, we get one more shot at it with those 7 seniors that have been here since day one of the program this year. So it's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be a team that when those guys are gone, 6 months from now, we're going to be a little heartbroken because those guys have been with us since day one. But
Yeah.
it's an awesome group. They're awesome to be around every day. Super fun. They buy in. And last year was great, and we plan to do better this year.
Took the words right out of my mouth, coach. That postseason win was, such a major milestone for you guys over there. But what did that postseason win mean for you guys, not only for the program, but also for the belief of the team that you guys are just going to keep going in the right trajectory?
Though we're right there, and that's the thing. Like you don't just go from a brand new team to a great team. I mean, unless you're St. Thomas, everybody else,
Yeah.
there's little steps. And so, for us, we had a 3-year plan. Year one, which was to establish a culture. I didn't care if we won 3, 4 matches or 10, 15 matches year one. We were going to establish a culture. Year two, we wanted to learn how to win. So we became the most improved team in the country. We had some big wins. We had some tough losses. It's all part of the process. And year three was to be a top 25 team. We got there. We got up, receiving votes in the top 15, and so that was great. And then you added in, going on the road to an extremely hostile environment and getting the first ever postseason win. And we obviously got matched up with Georgetown, and they're just a powerhouse in round two.
Yep.
That's what this conference is, and so it was great for us to get that first postseason win. But this year, like, we want to host in round one. We want to get to not just the semifinals. We want to get to the finals. Like, our goal is to get on that same level as the Georgetown, Campbellsvilles, which, again, phenomenal coaches, phenomenal players, but you set the bar high. That's where we're trying to get to.
Well, I can't wait to see it, Coach. Like we just said, the River States is completely competitive, especially deep on the men's side as well. You faced some big challenges last year, like the Cumberlands, Cumberland, Georgetown, all that good stuff. But how have you prepared for this season as you notched a belt in the River States already for 1 year? What's the plan going forward and mindset going into this season?
Well, we have everybody back, all of our starters back from that team that made it to the semifinals. And so that's something that we're really excited about. We have some fantastic transfers and some fantastic freshmen. So we are more talented and a better team than what we were a year ago. There's some killer position battles that are going on right now that, they went through it in the fall, and we'll see how everything plays out these next few weeks and over the next few months. But you had some of these other programs that lost great players. They lost All-Americans. The guys graduated. So for us, we feel that we are still ascending. We feel that we still have a ceiling that we can get to. And so we have our first practice on Sunday, so we practice here very, very soon, and then we'll go a couple scrimmage dates, and we get into the regular season here pretty quickly. But I'm just excited to see how much growth these guys really have left. But like I said, I mean, we basically have all of our kills back, all of our digs back, all of our aces back. Like, we return the same crew that was able to give, a real look to Georgetown in the regular season, a team that was able to go 5 with Campbellsville. We've got all that back, and they're still hungry, and there's still room to grow. So it's going to be fun once things get going, because in this conference, I mean, it's just, you're playing guys that are going to play professionally every single week. You're playing top 15, top 25 programs every single week. Like, there are no off games.
Yeah.
That's what's fun about it. I think the River States is probably the second best conference in the country. But with total depth, I mean, we're right there with anybody. So again, it is a beast of a schedule. You're playing great teams and great coaches all the time, but that's if you're a competitor, that's what's fun.
For sure, Coach. We'll backtrack a little bit. I know you talked about in year one, year two, it was all about building, culture, your identity. What are some, I guess, non-negotiables, or what is your identity and culture that you're still establishing, you're trying to establish there at St. Mary of the Woods?
So we'll sort of talk about like the off the court stuff and then move to the on the court. And obviously they tie together.
Yep.
But we want great people. Number one, like, we want great people. It is my wife and I, it's our 2 daughters. We have the men's team, we have the women's team. It's a big family here. So number one, like, we don't want anybody that when we see them in the gym that day in practice, we're like, there's Danny. We got to deal with him again. Like, we don't want that. We want great people. We have 5 coaches on our staff, and all 5 of us are head coaches at some level to some degree. So we believe in our player development. If you're not the tallest, if you've had an injury, if you've came from a lesser club or school, we don't really care. We want people that are going to work hard and they're going to play hard. They want to compete. And so that's really from the personality side. Be a great human being, be ready to work. From the volleyball side of things, I mean, Look, we're not the biggest. My middle hitter is 6 foot tall, and he's led the nation in solo blocks the last 2 years. My right side was an all conference player, one of the best blockers in the country, and he's 6 foot tall.
Mm.
There's a style that we play. We have to be really good in service, which then allows us to play fast. We led the nation in blocks last year with a 6 foot middle and a 6 foot right side. We're going to be very disciplined, very organized. Coach Ashley does an incredible job with coaching those front row players on really just marrying their eyes to their feet and being able to understand where those sets are going to go and how to get touches. So stylistically, we really go after just really skilled volleyball players that are really smart and can play fast. We're never going to have the 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" guys. It's just not who we are. Those guys that are that size that have those skills, I mean, they're playing at Hawaii and Long Beach. For us, like, you can be 6'1", 6'2", but I want you to be really versatile, really flexible, really smart. And we've got a lot of those guys. And these are guys that were told that they were never good enough. They weren't recruited by some of these other schools. So they have those chips on their shoulders, and that's what we like. But we understand that we have to play a unique style because of the personnel that we have. But it's fun. We have a lot of depth. We're going to be 3-4 deep at basically every single position. We don't rely on one guy to go take 60 swings a match. Like, I think we had 7 different guys lead us in kills last year. That's really what we are. I'm not always trying to have the best player on the court. My goal is to have like guys 3 through 8 be better than your guys 3 through 8, because it's a long season and there's injuries and stuff happens, and we want to have depth and we want to be able to go good on good every single day in the gym, and that's what we have. So it's very different, but it works for us. It works for the scholarshiping model that we have and the players that we can get. But again, our guys love each other. They work hard. They compete, and we focus on the process. Sometimes we'll win, sometimes we'll lose, but if we do the process correctly, more often than not, you're going to get the results that you want.
It's a big family over there, and I love it, Coach. But you wear multiple hats over there for the Pomeroys. You lead the men's. You also play that key role on the women's side. For those recruits watching, both men and women, what does your eyes look for when you're out on the court? Not only on the court but off the court. What are some key traits that you're looking for? Just to give me a few.
Again, our number one thing, and this, we literally talk to recruits about this, whether they're a high school kid or whether they're transfer, you have to be willing to be a part of a family.
Yep.
If you're not, this is not the place for you. Our guys and girls are in our office all the time. They're over for Thanksgiving. They're over for Easter. We have a number of transfers on both the men's and women's side, and they're not transferring here because it's cheaper. They're transferring here because they didn't get that experience that they wanted at their first school. That's really what we have to offer. We have the ability to offer you that college experience that you dreamed of, that you always had in your mind. Maybe you play, maybe you don't. We'll figure it out. I mean, obviously, like this past season, our men's and women's teams combined for the most wins combined for any programs at any level in the country. It was us and St. Thomas. Their men's and women's teams, again, are great, just like ours. So we don't promise playing time. We don't promise any of that. We promise you a great experience, a great education. But again, like we said, you got to be smart. You got to play really hard. You got to be hungry. You got to be unselfish. Our system is literally the exact same on the men's team as it is on the women's. The verbiage is the exact same. So we could literally hold a practice with the men on one side of the net, the women on the other side of the net. And when we talk about a shoot, both sides know what it is. When we talk about, a score, they know what it is. So our men do a great job of helping the women help the men. But again, you have to be hungry. You have to be willing to work. And you just have to be unselfish. The product is what it is. We're going to win. We're going to be successful. And, you look at, like we have 2 guys that transferred in here in January for the men. They were both starters at their other schools. They didn't get exactly what they were wanting as far as that experience. So they're coming here because they've heard how our guys, how our girls are treated. That's what we want to be known for. If we go 0-25, but our kids are happy, they're getting a great education, they feel respected, they feel loved, great. Like, that's still a win for us. I would rather that and our kids get a great experience than us to go 25-0 and everybody be miserable and everybody leave at the end of the year. again, we believe in the process. You take care of your kids, you make them feel loved, you make them feel wanted. They're going to give you everything they have on the court. Like, we're not X's and O's geniuses. Like, we really take care of our guys and our girls and develop them in the basics and the fundamentals. And then they go out and they compete and they give you everything that they have.
It's more than volleyball at the end of the day, and I love to hear that, Coach. But what are you most excited for this upcoming season? I know we talked about athletes, recruits, all that stuff, but what are you, Coach Ian Harris, head coach of the St. Mary of the Woods College Pomeroys, excited for?
It's that double-edged sword of I'm excited for these 7 guys that were with us since day one, to go out there and to really finish out their careers,
Yeah,
but also bummed that they're finishing out their careers.
yeah,
Um, it's the women have went through this the last 2 years. We had I think 11 seniors a year ago for the women, and then this year was a smaller senior class. But again, like we lost the best setter in program history. We lost a great outsider. Like, we lost some other great players. Next year's women's team, I think, will be back to 10 seniors. So it's awesome to see them complete that college life cycle. But then it's also a bummer because, like, I don't get to see them every day.
mm-hmm.
But I'm excited for the guys, for those guys in particular, to really just see the results of all their hard work over the past 3 years. Because if you rolled it back to when, year one, when we were in the WAC was at its peak
Yep.
with the Indiana Tech was like #1 in the country, and Lourdes and Aquinas and Mount Vernon. And I mean, it was a murderer's row. Like, it was the all-time strongest the WAC conference had ever been. So that's what these guys started off with. At that year one of a program, we had 3 17-year-olds playing for us. Like, we were super young.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so it's great to see the guys just get that respect to build up the program, because what we're really focusing on this year, for those older guys, is just leaving that legacy. Um, what we always talk about is, like, you can be this great player and you can put up a lot of stats and set records, but if you don't have an impact on that younger generation, you're forgotten about in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I want these guys to be able to leave that legacy. So 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 7 years from now, those messages that they had, they're still reverberating in that locker room, and then they're still being talked about in that gym, because I tell them all the time, like, I'm grateful that they trusted me and the vision of what we had, because again, 3 years ago, there was nothing. There was this idea of a men's volleyball team, but like, now it's a lot easier to recruit. Like, it's not that hard to recruit right now.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 years ago, 2 years ago, like, it was really a challenge. So I'm excited for those older guys to really finish things out, to get to see how far they've come, to really help leave that legacy, and for our entire team to see how far we still are from a Georgetown, from a Campbellsville. Are we 80% of the way there? Are we 90% of the way there? Who knows? I mean, like, last year we swept Cumberland, and Cumberland's an awesome team with awesome players. So that was a huge thing for us to be able to do. We want to get to where the women were at, of where you're in that sort of clear top 2, top 3. Because again, like, if you're top 3 in the River States, you're a top 15 program. And that's where we're trying to get. So we're just excited to see these guys that are now 2, 3, 4 years in go up against other great players, great All-Americans, guys that are going to play professionally. For me and my staff, coaching against some of the best staffs in the country, and just see what happens. Again, we're gonna do things the way they're supposed to be done. We're gonna do the process, and at the end of those 3, 4, 5 sets, we'll see what happens. But we're going to follow the way, we're going to follow the game plan. We're going to do things the way we're asked to do it, and we'll see what happens.
Well, Coach, before we wrap this up, well, for starters, I appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know you got a busy schedule, as you guys plan for practice and stuff like that. But where can we find you and the Pomeroys on social media? Let's give that little tag for us.
Yeah, for sure. SMWC Volleyball on Instagram. We've been very fortunate that our Instagram account has gotten very popular.
Yep.
We're not the masters. Everybody's trying to be the masters with the Instagram account, but
Yeah.
it's fun. We try to post a lot at SMWC Volleyball, because the majority of our players on both teams, they come from all over the place. Literally from Washington to Florida to New York to California to Texas. So we really try to provide that behind the scenes footage, not just for recruits, but for friends and families of our kids. So when they want to see how Danny's doing in practice, when they want to see how he's doing in class, like they can see all that.
Hmm.
Like I said, I mean, we don't have a lot of guys or girls, from within a 30-minute hour, range. Like we recruit nationally, we recruit globally, really on the men's team. So we try to be as transparent and as open. Like, obviously, like you'll get like some highlights and stuff on there, but like we try to post drills, we try to post just little things like that. And if you're a high school coach, a club coach, if you're another college coach, if you see something that you think's a good idea, take it, steal it. Like everybody steals stuff from other coaches, like
Hmm.
it's all good. Like we want to grow the game. We want to help people out. We want our guys and girls to let their families know what they're doing. But SMWC volleyball on Instagram, we try to be as active on there as possible just to give you that inside glimpse. And yeah, it's fun. We get a lot of feedback on there, and the kids enjoy it. We try to get them in front of the cameras as much as possible, especially during the season, with the post match interviews and stuff like that. They all think it's really cool. They don't realize that we're actually training them on public speaking as it goes along,
Yeah.
and being able to present yourself and be able to talk about yourself. So it's fun. They just think it's fun hype, but there's actually a reason behind all the madness of everything that we do.
Yeah, a method. But Coach, thanks for joining me today. Everybody that's watching here on the NAI Volley Report, make sure to follow us on all socials at NAI Volley Report. Subscribe to this channel for more Coach's Corner here on this page. Thanks, Coach, for taking the time. I appreciate it and looking forward to watching you guys play in the River States. Have a good day.
Absolutely. Thank you for all you do and helping grow the game.
Thanks, Coach.